Are you thinking about moving to Northern Nevada and maybe finally becoming a homeowner? Today, I'm talking about why so many young buyers are discovering Reno and Sparks in Northern Nevada as the place that can really make that dream happen. Hi, my name is Pamela Moore. I'm with Northern Nevada's Moore Real Estate Group at Chase International. I am a local realtor here in the Reno Sparks area. I love helping first time home buyers break out of that rental cycle and get into a home of their own and start really creating that stability and cultivating some long term wealth. If you've been feeling like you're priced out of the market in some of the bigger cities, or like your rent was just swallowing your entire paycheck, because it is, Reno and Sparks might surprise you in the very best way. Let's talk about lifestyle and opportunity. What makes this corner of Nevada such a smart move? Over the last 10, 15 years, Reno and Sparks has really transformed itself from a quiet little gaming town, it's always been known as the gaming town, into a growing metro with some real serious opportunity. There's expanding tech and logistics employers, a strong small business community, which affects your lifestyle as well as your opportunities yourself, and a lifestyle that really balances work, outdoors, and community. Companies like Tesla, Switch, Amazon, Panasonic, other smaller new startups have brought younger professionals and their families. And with them, we've got new restaurants, more interesting and varied entertainment, lots of neighborhood parks, and really well thought out developments. People aren't just moving here for jobs, they're moving here for quality of life at a price that still feels a little more attainable than a lot of West Coast markets. So, one of the biggest perks for moving to Nevada is simple. There is no state income tax here. So if you're coming from a high tax state, that can mean more take home pay every single month. Now, how does that shake out? Well, it might mean you're able to save your down payment more quickly if you're renting. It might mean that you're building an emergency fund because you have purchased a home, or maybe you got into a fixer upper and it's more money you can put in for future renovations. It's one of the reasons that many first time buyers can finally make homeownership happen here. So, Reno and Sparks, we've got to be clear, is not cheap housing, not cheap housing anymore. But compared to a lot of metro areas, especially in the West Coast area, your dollar often will go further here than many other places, especially if you're open to townhomes or condos. Sparks, so not just focused on Reno, but also Sparks, and maybe moving into some of the north valleys of Reno, or Spanish Springs, which is just a little farther out in Sparks, or some new neighborhoods that are just being built right now. Many of the buyers in the 25-year-old to 45-year-old range choose this area because they can actually own something with a little space, maybe a small yard or a garage. So you can have your pets. You don't have to pay storage for all of your other items. It can really end up being a smarter lifestyle move. Next topic is Reno versus Sparks. How do you know which one is for you? Where should you focus your search? Well, Reno is great if you want urban, a little more artsy vibe. There's midtown coffee shops, restaurants, proximity to UNR and tech campuses, more nightlife, a little more, you're closer to most of the cultural centers, most of the cultural activities. Sparks is perfect if you're looking into more of the neighborhoods, a little more suburban, more parks, that Sparks Marina lifestyle, newer subdivisions, more planned communities, little more budget friendly in Sparks. Both cities do share that same metro lifestyle, just offer different flavors depending on how you live, how you work, and how you play. So if you love the outdoors, this area is magic. Within an hour, you're at Lake Tahoe or Pyramid Lake or Boca or Stampede, or right downtown Reno, you're kayaking down the Truckee River or just hanging out at the Truckee River picnicking. And then the summer festivals, we could do a whole spot on just the summer festivals. You get 4 seasons. So, yes, winter does happen here. Most days are sunny and crisp in the winter and beautiful, breathtaking blue skies. It is a balance of adventure and everyday livability. So, if you are a first time buyer, ready to really focus on building equity, if you're a remote worker and you need a little more space and access to the outdoors, if you're a young professional moving maybe from a pricier metro area, or someone who just really values that community vibe over congestion, this might be a good fit for you. Reality check, always important to have the reality check. Winters can bring snow in some areas. Now, this area we call the Truckee Meadows has a plethora of little microclimates, and some areas receive more snow than others, and your driving is impacted, your work might be impacted. So, commute times are going to vary depending on, where you're working, where you're living. Some neighborhoods have HOAs, some do not. So there's trade offs with that. That's why having the local guide really makes the difference. Somebody who can listen to what you're doing, listen to what you want, and really help you choose the neighborhood that really fits your lifestyle, your budget, and your long term plans. If you are thinking Nevada might be the right place for you and Reno and Sparks is on your radar, I would love to help you explore what your price range looks like, help you put in contact with some local lenders to get started on the pre approval process, which neighborhoods are going to fit your goals and your lifestyle, what steps it takes to get from being on that renter cycle to being a homeowner. You can ask me anything. Never any pressure, no judgment. I will always be honest and I'll always offer you guidance. Please put any questions you have in my comments so that I can respond to that and, possibly, address topics in later episodes. Also, if you felt like this was helpful, then please do subscribe so that you'll get those moving to Nevada insights that I'll continue to drop, and Northern Nevada homeownership tips. Again, I'm Pamela Moore, Northern Nevada's More Real Estate Group at Chase International. Have a great day.